Developing a customer-oriented strategy. So based upon the first part of Chapter 1E, what firms will do is they will collect consumer insights by conducting primary research and collecting secondary research to better understand how consumers think, feel, and act around a particular type of offer. So once they have this information, that information can be very instrumental in informing potentially how do we need to segment the market, how profitable is each segment, and what are the characteristics of consumers in each segment, and are customers satisfied with existing offerings. Now each four of these questions are fundamentally very different, but they are interrelated. So when we talk about how is the market segmented, specifically it refers to where are there meaningful differences between groups of consumers as it relates to the offer. If there are not meaningful differences, then it is not necessary to segment. That is a key fundamental premise to clearly understand. The second part is how profitable is each segment. You may have a group of consumers who are absolutely crazy about your product and can't wait to try it. However, if they don't have the money or the size is small, so small that it doesn't warrant the financial enterprise and the investment in order to get a proper return on investment, then it may not be a segment that's worthwhile. Another aspect is what are the characteristics of consumers in each segment. So are there meaningful differences, or in some cases firms will try to put a face and try to develop a character around a consumer segment so that that can be also easily communicated internally within the organization, so everybody within the organization who is working on developing these offers in different roles and responsibilities can kind of all be collectively on the same page and working toward, or kind of understanding who is it that we're trying to connect with. An example of this is when we think of the term soccer mom. If you were to ask anybody on the street, can you tell me about a soccer mom? Many people would say it is a woman who may drive a minivan, who is between the ages of 25 and 45, has 1 to 2 kids, they're in school and they're involved in extracurricular activities, potentially lives in the suburbs, is married, and may or may not work full-time or even part-time, etc., etc. So even just from that simple term of soccer mom, but the research that went into the development of that particular segment, everybody has a clear picture from who that is, who that person is that they're trying to connect with. And then another aspect is, are customers satisfied with existing offerings? Sometimes through competitive analysis, firms can determine or identify potentially customers who are with another firm, and if they're not satisfied in better understanding their needs better than that firm, they could potentially target them and potentially lure them over. So in looking at, for example, 3 segments, here's an example. We could have segment A, segment B, segment C, and they may differ. Again, there's got to be key differences around the product service attribute importance, something about the product. It could be around price sensitivity or their willingness to pay. It could be around different needs, wants, or uses. It could be based upon geographic differences, as well as age, gender, and ethnicity. But again, anything, almost anything can be a segmentation variable, providing that it's measurable, it's actionable, and that there are meaningful differences where that's concerned. So if we were to look at the example for a car, and if you were a car salesperson and you knew that there were 3 different distinct segments of consumers who would come in and would be attracted to a particular car, and you knew that you have A, B, and C, what you would talk about and what you would emphasize with these different segments should be very different based upon the information provided.